Welcome everybody to the 2023 GNH Football Preseason Interview Show. My name is Bill Richmond and I'm here with Head Coach Scott Salius and the senior co-captains Aiden, Avenia and Nolan, Risedorf. Thank you guys for joining me. I know it was a hot practice out there today. That heat's coming in, but the game's coming up on Thursday. But before we start, I just want to go through and talk a little bit about last year, because that was one of the best GNH football seasons ever. 8-2 in the regular season, making it to the semifinals of the Class SS championship, scoring points like none other. Two of the highest scoring games I've ever been involved in, I think, in the team. So it's just been really good. And Coach, we'll just start with you. Just give us a little bit of your thoughts on last year.
Yeah, last year was kind of a magical year. Everything kind of came together. And really, it goes back to 2021. 2021, we had a great season. We lost our first game to Stafford. And then in the regular season, the only other game we lost after that was we played Rockville with a depleted team due to COVID. We only had like 17 players. I think 13 kids played the whole game. And then Stimson was quarterback. And, ever since then, after that game, we played against North Branford and everything kind of turned around, and we had a great run through that year, shutting out two other Class M playoff teams that year. Then we eventually met the eventual state champion. Like I told the kids in 21 that whoever wins that Killingly GNH game was going to win the state championship, and eventually Killingly won, and we just took that momentum. We rolled it into 22 season. We came out firing with all cylinders against Naugatuck with a team that was really unbelievably inexperienced, and held our own against Naugatuck. Again, a playoff team, lost a game against Ansonia where we were winning in the fourth quarter, again a state champion, and kind of rolled right through the rest right up to that fourth quarter of Valley Regional. So it was a great season all around.
What do you guys most remember about last year, and what sticks out to you?
I mean, just winning and like the fun buses back and everything after, just like bonding with the team and everything after was just like awesome. Just the feeling of winning was just amazing.
Honestly, those practices were different. I mean,
Yeah.
like
A lot less
they made
yelling.
us better every single day, and that's what made us win a lot of games.
Yeah.
It's interesting because last year, in the preseason we talked about, you had all the skill positions, but the line needed to come through both lines, and it really did. Talk a little bit about those guys.
I mean, Warsman being a mammoth of a human being, he just needed to piece it all together. So I mean, he really helped us. Benny wasn't a slow; he was a fast guard. So him and Andrew pulling, that really helped us. And then Stimson and then Adams, they just needed to figure it out. They were young, so they need to piece that together. So I mean,
They're doing good this year.
that line last year was probably one of the best lines I've ever had.
Yeah.
It really made a difference there. And Coach, will you talk a little bit about the line for this year? Because again, I think Owen's the only person left on the line, right?
Yeah, it's got a complete replay of last season. So 22, we came in with Andrew Hafner was the only returning lineman. We had 4 new linemen in there. We converted a JV quarterback, Stimson, into a tackle, and we took Ryan Worsman, who really never played offense, made him a center. Kind of have the same thing this year. We have Stimson's returning. We got a sophomore, Luke Kessler, stepping up to play tackle. We got Hafner's brother, who was a backup lineman last year, playing one of the guards. We have the 2023 version of Worsman with Nick Mambrino, our big body center, playing center. And we have a freshman stepping up this year, Carson Riva, is going to come in and play our left tackle for us. So it's kind of in the same boat last year. One returning, a lot of inexperience going in, and hopefully this is a line that is going to continue to improve all season long, playing right in front of our great skill players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing again, returning the great skill players, Aiden as a fullback and Nolan as the quarterback. You guys talk about what you see going forward for this season.
I mean, just a lot of young players need more development. I mean, like we lost like most of our skill players, so as long as they develop, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, they still have, we're still just getting everyone together. Like, we still have, like, Stimson stepping up as, a junior, talking over the line. He knows his job. He's helping all, like, the underclassmen. Like, he's helping them develop, which is, like, really helpful for us. And in the end, like, I feel like we're really good.
And that tailback, Who else is?
We got Sobel. Sobel freshman. And
Sheeby,
Sheeby's like our worst thing right now, but Sobel's stepping up right now.
Right, and then you got to mention, well, you got Brett McGuire, you know, one of our returning players out there is the split end and defensive back, and then we have 2 sophomores stepping up to fill in the tight end position. Both are first-year varsity players. Eston Ryan, first year playing football, and we had that last year with some first-year football players. And Wes Allen will be a sophomore. Both these guys are going to fill in for that tight end role for us, which is pretty important. Again, these are 2 kids that are continuing to develop and learn.
Yep. 2 big kids though, right? I guess with size,
Yeah.
you know, some size on them too. And then how about Ty DeVita? Where does he fit in the whole?
Ty's
He's got to play all over.
He's everywhere.
Yeah. Ty's talented enough. He could probably play every single position on offense. If I ask him to play tight end, he can play tight end. He's going to play the slot receiver. And Sony's probably going to get some time at tailback. He can play quarterback in some of our different sets. So Ty's going to pretty much be used all over the field. Very talented kids, so we're going to have to use him wherever we can.
Yeah, that's good. So let's talk a little bit about the NVL this year. I know you got moved up from, are they calling it Division 1 and 2 this year? Or?
Well, they call them Division 1 and 2, but it's still brass and copper.
Still brass and copper, right? I mean, last year winning the brass, but getting moved up to the copper and starting out with Ansonia, back at Ansonia again. But just talk a little bit, Coach, about all the NVL teams that you'll be playing this year.
Oh, we got 5 of the same team. So we're playing, obviously, returning state champion Ansonia, Class L playoff team Naugatuck. We're actually playing at home this year. We play Kennedy again. We play Torrington again. That'll be another Friday night down there. Great to have that rivalry. It'll be in early September, week 3, so hopefully it'll be a big turnout for that one. It's September night, early in the year.
And Kennedy's at night too here, right?
Kennedy's going to be at night here.
First home game.
First
right?
home game.
Yep.
We play St. Paul again this year.
It's Thanksgiving already.
That'd be the night before Thanksgiving, our new Thanksgiving rivalry. And then we have the new teams that we didn't play last year. We got Watertown and Woolkit, 2 teams that struggled a little bit last year, but feature a lot of returning players. There's Woodland on the schedule, who, like us, lost a lot of upperclassmen, so they're returning very few players that have experience, but Woodland always is good. They're very well coached. They're usually big up front, so that'll be a challenge. I know they're going to run a power team. And then the 2 big question marks a little later on here. We have Seymour and Holy Cross. Seymour lost their main quarterback, but a team, again, that lives in the weight room, a team that is usually always puts a very competitive team on the field. So we'll have a little while before we look at them. And then Holy Cross, who's the mystery. Holy Cross, another playoff team from last year, along with Woodland and Seymour. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be very disciplined. So that's our week 9. So we got a long time before we get to them. But that's going to be another big mark on our schedule right there.
Yeah, look, there's like 1, 2, 3, at least 3. Well, a 10-0 team, and then 3 8-2 teams.
They have 5 returning playoff teams on our schedule.
Yeah, 5, right? Yeah, so that's good. And then again, this year it's still going to be the 6 divisions, classes that are going to the playoffs.
Yep.
Right. So sort of nice. Everybody gets an opportunity, you know, to get out there. We've made it 2 years in a row, which is a record. You know, it'd be good to get that trifecta and get 3. So let's just talk a little bit about the team and just talk a little bit about the players, your experience, what you remember as freshmen, and then to now. You know, it's been a big change for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, freshman year and COVID year, so we
Yeah.
didn't get to play. But sophomore year from now, you know, we were the little kids, but now, you know, we're the big kids that the little kids are looking up to now. So my sophomore year, I had Ian Thompson going up against me and just hitting against him. That's pretty frightening for me. But I mean, through the years, you know, with Freddie and Dad, you know, we've always been so close, and we were like a family last year with our team because we were winning, and everyone was it was a great feeling throughout the years. I mean, and then this year they're all underclassmen looking up to us as like big brothers, so we have to look out for them.
Yeah, like that sophomore year, I mean, I learned a lot. I mean, coming in my freshman year, I mean, I like played quarterback, but I didn't know as much as I do now. I mean, like that first sophomore year, having to know like pass coverages, like reading guys. I mean, like that's a whole different level that I know. And now it just clicks.
And that's interesting. You know, I watched a little bit of practice before, and you can see the kids that are just new, it just doesn't click. They're thinking about it and trying to figure out what they have to do instead of just doing it.
Yeah.
That muscle memory when you guys, when Coach
we-
calls out a play, you know exactly where you're going, what you're doing.
And now we just try to get 100%. If we mess up at 100%, then we can tweak it. We can learn from that.
Yeah. Coach, talk a little bit about your scrimmage on Friday night up at Granby. I saw the first half. Tell us what you saw.
Yeah, first, I mean, it was, for a game scrimmage like that, where basically we're only playing one half of the actual starters. I thought we did fairly well. I thought the line, our biggest question mark going in was always going to be the line. So I thought they played well, they executed, they knew their assignments, which is the main thing. Everybody pretty much knew where they were going and blocked the right people. Just need to pick up that intensity a little bit and keep blocking a little bit harder, a little bit longer to the whistle. Backs ran the ball fine and ran hard. Obviously, there was some awesome blocks and awesome running by Avenia. Sheeby ran the ball hard when he was in there. All right, Nolan had some ankle breaking things. Just wasn't looking for him on the outside. All right, basically, once he gets outside the pocket, or even on a design run or on a scramble, all right, that was exactly what we were looking for to put on film to everybody else in the league. That this is somebody you're going to have to count for on the outside. You're going to have to count for our backs on the inside. And that's, one of the reasons for the scrimmage is I want to put it out there. We're going to let everybody in the league know what you're going to have to defend when you try to get us. You got to. It's like the old, I'm wearing an Army football hat. It's like the old Army football days. You got Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside. Avenia and Sheeby are Mr. Inside. Risedorf is Mr. Outside. And that's when we win games. You're going to have to try to defend against that. Defensively, we still have work to do. And we had, our two outside linebackers are the sophomores again. Alan and Ryan. And they got some work to do in their coverages and doing that. So, they learned from that and they learned from the film of it. We improved since our first scrimmages. Our safeties were 30 yards deep downfield on runs. So they kind of learned from that in those last couple ones. So we're improving every week.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, talk a little bit about that one play, because you did that. One kid's ankles broke and the other kid, his pants were on the ground. You scored that touchdown. That was really amazing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a designed pass. I mean, it was for Aston, but I mean, he just slipped on the route. I had to make a move, so. Yeah.
That's good. Hey, talk a little bit about passing the ball. I saw you make a couple completions too, and that was really good. That's exciting too, and even at practice today, it's not, you threw a beautiful ball. The kid dropped it, but it was a great pass.
Yeah, going into that Granby scrimmage game, I mean, my whole entire game plan was just to throw the ball, just to see what our receivers can do, when actually catching the ball. So, I mean, my whole game plan was just not to scramble and get out of the pocket.
Right? Yeah, that's good. Yep. And Aiden, how did you think your game went on Friday night, and what do you expect for this season going forward?
I mean, it was a good game. I had a few good blocks for Nolan at the scrambles, and defensively overall, we did pretty good. We were reading our routes, or reading our slants correctly, and just, I mean, I'm like the head of the linebackers right now, so I got to know what we're doing, what slant we're going. So basically, coaches are relying on me to pursue what the game plan is. So basically, we're doing good so far.
Cool. And you just reminded me, Coach, talk about new coaches or returning coaches. Hey, what's your coaching staff looking like this season?
You got our primary coaches are still myself, Tom Scarangelo, Mark Douglas is back helping out again, and we have Chris DeVita, kind of came along last year as a volunteer, is here every day now. Jerry Robles, who kind of started last year as a volunteer, is here every day now for practice. Devin Mashad, when he's not being tied up at work, has been coming to practice working with our linemen. Coach Jones and Coach Buddy, the dog, were at practice today again when they have time. So that's our main course. Every now and then, some of the old guys, Mac was back on the sidelines for us, Thursday and Friday night, and he pipes in every now and then, gives us help and talks me through some ideas. So the same core of the guys that we've been having.
Well, don't forget Mr. Positive.
Oh, Chris Salius, yeah, Baby Sal, of course. So.
Wow, that's good. And, it shows you this is going to be your 16th year as head coach. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Can you believe that? 16 years as head coach here. It's amazing. I was thinking, so our buddy Mike is down in Tennessee, can't be here. He will be back for the first home game, so that's good news.
Yep.
But this will be Mike's 19th year
Yeah.
of covering GN football.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've been doing it for 15 years. It's unbelievable. It's a good thing, And that leads into this thing, you know, and you mentioned it a little before about the family, right? We cover a lot of other sports, basketball, baseball, soccer, and everything. There is nothing, when we talk to interview kids, they talk about the football family. You guys give us your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, we're a co-op between 3 teams, and I mean, in the beginning, you know, it was Housatonic, Gilbert, and Northwestern. And, I mean, in the beginning it was GN, so Gilbert and Northwestern kids were always close. But since that 2021 year, you know, we've all just decided to, you know who we are, just who we want to be around with. And we just all come together, and we just all became a family ever since that 2021 season. And I mean, we've all just chosen to just, we're all brothers now, and we're all stick group together. And I mean, yeah, we're just one big family, basically.
Yeah, and when we come to practice every day, I mean, that's one family. That's our motto. We all want to work together. I mean, it's a team sport, so I mean, we all got to be on the same page. And we're here, how many months? Yeah, so
It's a long
Summer,
season.
summer,
we're here almost every day together
Summer
besides
to-
one Sunday.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean,
We gotta learn to love each other.
yeah, we got to learn to like each other.
You know, and it's a tribute, I also believe, to the coaching staff and what Coach Sal does too. And, you know, I always know, we don't know what school any kids go to, right? We just know you're a GNH player, right? And that's the way it is, you know, and that's a great thing. So, a couple of other quick questions I got to, you know, who has the best nickname on the team this year?
Smitty? No.
Who?
Yeah, it's got to be
Pooh or Mellow?
Mellow.
What's
Mellow.
Melo's nickname?
Mellow.
Who is name? Who is Mellow?
Marshmallow.
Mellow Marshmallow. But yeah, probably Pooh. Pooh.
And who's Pooh?
Pooh is Hunter Conklin because it looks like Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear.
Teddy bear.
Okay.
So everybody thinks it's like Pooh for like the other thing, but it's
Yeah,
it's
I
like Pooh
know.
Bear.
Pooh Bear. All right, that's good. Who's got the best beard on the team this year? Anybody?
Stevie's got a nice little blonde milk mustache.
Student's got a nice little set.
I was gonna grow it up, I shaved it.
Max, I bet you Max is over time.
Oh yeah, Max. Max is like
That's got
Jesus.
some sideburns.
He's got some sideburns.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's good. And then, what's your favorite field now? I know we just switched to the NBL, but what field do you like to play on the most?
Like Torrington. Torrington's got the nicest turf field overall.
Yeah.
Lights?
Yeah,
Lights, the lights.
Especially when you play there.
I mean, even ours,
play
like
there with that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
our night game last year against who was in Oxford, and the
Yeah.
lights in it was a neon night, and that was awesome.
That was a great.
That was a great game. It wasn't, and the grass wasn't like muddy and gross. It was like right temperature and everything. It was awesome.
How's the field now, Coach? I know you're just going out there.
Right now it's in good shape.
Right? I mean, we
The
had
beat
a lot.
up band hasn't trampled it too much, so right now it's in good shape.
All right. And the rain is let off for the last couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
that's sort of good. So that's good. All right. So I just want to thank you guys again. And Coach, you remember this? Remember the one year we had the kid that did the card tricks for us, right?
Yes.
Who was that? You remember? who
Picasso.
that was? Oh yeah, Picasso. Yeah. And other kids have done some jokes and things here, but Aiden has a particular ability, and he's going to just share it with us right now. Ready? Woo! There we go. All right, way to go, Aiden. So I just want
I
to
swear to
thank
God, if you fell and
Yeah, I
broke
know.
something.
yeah, I know, right? We would have cut it out. We would've cut it out. But I just want to thank you guys again for joining me today, and I think it's going to be a great season. And
yeah.
go GNH, beat Ansonia.
Oh yeah.